Firefighters are battling over 200 wildfires across the United States. Just not the United States, it's just everywhere. What's interesting to me, this is around the same time that the data centers are taking all the waters. What happens to the cloud seeding? Don't they have cloud seeding machines to turn off these fires? Well, there's a reason that these fires are taking place. I told you that this territory that belongs to our people, the Red Nations, after the 400 years, they have to give it back, and they don't want to give it back. There's a loophole. So I'm going to share this video with you. It tells you the meaning behind 1,666. The loophole is if you burn that area, they assume that the people they're living there are dead, and then the state takes over the property because the 400 years are back, so we have our lands back right now. So they have to burn the area, get rid of the people. That's why they have right now they're gassing our people, the Red Nations, and these detention centers, right? So because they're Nazis, so that's the loophole. So if they burn it, they kill off the people, the state keeps the land. It's happening through Canada, North and South America, and our islands. All the territories, they return to us. So this is the President Trump, this whole fake news with this Marine. Russia had him in prison for 1,666 days. This is code, guys, because they'll work together. This is Qatar Mafia. I told you this system, this matrix system, is Iranian. It goes back to the Bible, to the beginning of time. Anyway, you see, Gematria 1,666, people of Iran. This is what running this system. On the topic I cut off, but I'm going to be sharing these images with you anyway. So that is Revelation 6. This is what it's telling you. Revelation 6, okay? And United States is a Babylonian the Great, the horrible days of great tribulation. At the bottom, it tells you that they're Luciferian, the children of Lucifer. This is the ones that are going around doing these things to our people. Revelation 6. Please read it, because this is what they're trying to tell you. When he said this and he put this out, this is code. This is what's coming. It talks about that they were given control over 1/4 of the earth to kill with war, famine, disease, and wild animals. So that's what's coming, right? Also, it tells you, I told you that in the past, in the reading, Ezekiel 37, 38, and 39, that's where we are right now. We're in 38. This is when Gog and Magog, Russia and China, and all these foreign, Eurasia, this is Eurasia, they're in our territories again to try to do to us the same thing, to kill us and make us into slave again and take our lands again. But it tells you that Daddy's going to give them a big earthquake. And Revelation 6 talks about the fast earthquake and the days of darkness. There you go. Sun becomes dark like a black cloth. That's what's coming. And it tells you, see, demonic strength and power in one world order tags. This is the tags that's coming, right? Again, like I said, I'm going to be sharing this with you. So this is what's coming. That's what that means. Because everything is a code. It tells you right there. Trump alert now. We're in a real matrix. G.W. Bush, son of Hitler. They all are. They're all related to Hitler. That's why they're Nazis. Nazis are doing human trafficking right now of our people. Barack Obama, his grandfather was Hitler. They all, because all of them are related. All the presidents are related. So they're all related to Hitler. And Antichrist, Dijal, I don't know how to pronounce his name, and I really don't care. So they're telling you the Antichrist is coming. And the Antichrist is actually Muslim. It's Obama who's coming into power. The trickster, the deceiver. That's what this meant. That's what this means. So, okay, so we had an eclipse the other night, right? And it took place in Portugal, Spain. That's interesting to me because the Pope divided the world between Spain and Portugal to have us colonize our people. So this is where the ring was seen in that area. And for those that don't know, this just means judgment. I will compare my judgment to a circle. So something huge is coming. I know that something huge is coming between now and September 11. Something huge is coming. So get closer to Yahuwah, because the judgment's upon the earth. The sword is here. America isn't a continent, it's a country. So you see what's highlighted in red, that's the territory assigned to Shem. You see how Brazil isn't highlighted because Brazil is part of Africa. During Pangea, it was together and then it broke up after the flood. So you see Brazil is not included because it is part of Africa. Oh, map, it tells you Brazil, Africa. This is the territory of Ham. Okay, Japhet, the judge. So Daddy used Japhet to judge us for when we broke covenant, right? So that is the tribe of Dan, that's Eurasia, Europe, and Asia, better known as Grand Tortoria back in the days. Same nations are here to get they trying to do the same thing again. And they tell you that after 400 years they were supposed to release us. They don't want to release us, and they're trying to do the same thing again. They're trying to enslave us, take our lands, and get rid of us this time. They're trying to get rid of us altogether, genocide us for completely, because this is how it works. In order for them to take our lands, they had to get rid of the rightful owners of the land. So they will have to get rid of us altogether so they could claim all our lands forever. So that's why they're genociding us for the second time around. But Daddy walks with us again right now, and he's going to do a big earthquake and judgments upon these nations. So this is Eurasia, this is your Mongols, China, Russia. So when they say that America is fighting Russia, that's a lie. They're all together. They are all Iranian. And Mexico joins the BRIC nations. You see, for B is for Brazil, R for Russia, I for India, C is for China, S for South Africa. And now Mexico is joining it. And Brazil, the system is going to be kicking off from Brazil because the Jesuits also run Brazil. Everything is united. And she's a Khazar Jew. That's why they're everywhere. Every natural disaster, anything that happens, Mexico shows up and the people go missing, the children go missing, and a lot of ICE agents happen to be Mexican, right? This is the Mexican army, Khazar Mafia. And one thing that's very interesting to me, all these natural disasters happening throughout the world, earthquakes, fires, floods, not one person, not one famous person, not an elite, nobody, not a politician, singer, actress, ever gets affected by it, or their family members. Interesting. And the last thing you see, the BRICS nations, and there's the Mexican flag right on the BRICS nations. Like I said, the system is going to be kicking off from Brazil.
Why people are not talking about this, but the Everglades are currently going up in flames, and this is everything you need to know about the recent wildfires. When I tell you it was hard to be able to find out more information about this story, it's so sad to see, but this is something that absolutely needs more attention because thousands of acres in the Everglades have currently been consumed. If you or anyone you know lives near the area of Broward County, this is incredibly important because state officials are not saying the exact reason as to how the fire got started. What we do know, though, is that 6,700 acres have burned up to the highway system that has caused major delays in anyone that's traveling through the area. Florida is absolutely no stranger to these fires because of it being right in the middle of dry season. Over the past 6 weeks, there have been several fires outbroken in this area, and they have some good news to share that it's almost 95% contained. But because of the perfect conditions in the worst case scenario, drought level rainfall shortages have also contributed to these fires not being able to be contained as fast. Residents are also quick to remind us that the temperatures have felt like over 100 degrees over the past month, which is making this even worse. I keep you guys updated about everything that happens in the news, especially when it's something this serious, so be sure to add me and come back tomorrow for another.
In 1666, London was burning. The Great Fire wiped out homes, churches, and records. Entire communities vanished overnight. Parliament passed the Chestuikv Act, a law meant to settle estates when a person was presumed dead. If someone disappeared, their property could be managed, and after 7 years without proof of life, it could be claimed by the state. But what began as emergency legislation evolved into something far deeper, a foundation for modern legal identity. Over time, governments applied the principle of presumption not only to missing persons, but to everyone born into the system. How? Through registration. When a child is born, a record of birth is created. Not the living baby, but a legal person, a paper entity tied to commerce. Under Chestuikv, unless the living man or woman comes forward to rebut the presumption, that estate, your legal name, remains under state control, managed in trust. The state acts as trustee. You, by silence and consent, are treated as the ward, the presumed dead beneficiary. Every interaction with the legal system, licenses, taxes, fines, courts, operates under that presumption. The name in all capital letters isn't you. It's the estate presumed dead at sea. The living man or woman is simply administrating it, unknowingly. That's why, in commerce and law, everything is about status. The system only recognizes persons, not people. And through this, the law of the presumed dead lives on today, not as a curse, but as a contract of ignorance. The remedy is knowledge, to correct your status, to declare that the living man or woman has returned. Once you stand as the living, breathing being under divine law, the presumption of death is gone, and the estate can finally serve its true master, you. For more, Linktree in
Most people think Brazil is far away from Africa. But the truth might surprise you.
Long ago, South America and Africa were actually joined together as part of one giant supercontinent called Gondwana. That's why the coastlines of Brazil and Western Africa still look like matching puzzle pieces today.
Here, what am I showing you? I'm showing you Gerrit's Brasilische Passkaart. Gerrit's Brazilian map. This is a map of Brazil, 1637. Now, when you go to the description of the map, it tells you west is top. So I'm going to show you west at top, then I'm going to orientate it to you where west is west. So you see both angles and you see what I'm about to show you. By the way, your secondary source, and some of y'all don't know what sources are. The map is the primary source. The book that I'm going to give you, The History of Cartography, Volume 3, Cartography in European Renaissance, Part 2, Section 46. And so west is here, north is here, south is down here, and east is down there. So I'm going to flip this map around. Okay, so it's flipped around, and now you can see the coast of Brazil. And you're going to see the name Brazil right here. All right, there we go, Brazil, zoomed in. Now let me prove that Africa was in Brazil, and these are not English documents. These are Dutch documents. And these are Dutch documents in Dutch languages. So I had to flip it back around. But what do you see right there? You see Africa in Brazil? Let me zoom in. Africa in Brazil.
Planet. Hidden controllers of the planet are the ancient Iranian bloodlines from Central Asia who have ruled the world since the First World Empire. And it's the same people. They were the popes of Rome. They built the Etruscan Empire. They razed that, which was in Italy. Then they built the Roman Empire and razed that. Then they built the Habsburg Empire. And they're based mostly in Italy because they created Italy, but it's still the same kings and queens bloodlines mostly on the thrones of Europe. But they work for the ruling elites, the Jesuit organization. This is not a Catholic organization. These are not religious people. They're atheists. It's a military organization set up by the Farnese family, by Pope Paul III before he became Pope. And the Villa Farnese, which is the model for the Pentagon, he built in the shape of, or the style of, ancient Central Asian fortified structures. And he built the Villa Farnese after he created the Jesuits, or around the same time. And he built it as the headquarters for the war rooms of the Farneses. Hidden control.
Hey everyone, I am currently in Surprise, Arizona. I am outside of this warehouse right here that ICE has contracted to be a new concentration camp. As you can see here, it's currently crossed off with a lot of police line, and there is a sign right here telling exactly what needs to be told to the people who are going to own this building and put innocent people inside. The facility is located just down the street from Dysart High School, where the student body is 60% Hispanic. Families within the community fear for their children with the presence of an ICE concentration camp in their neighborhood. Community leaders highlight the environmental impact of the facility that will need to use an unsustainable amount of water. Here's just a little present for any of the Little Dig ICE agents.
Oh my God. You guys listening? Good? Good, sir? All right, coming in? Okay, nobody thinking it?
So a president that has been accused of pedophilia is sending a modern day Gestapo into children's class full of immigrants. I'm assuming that there might be immigrant children in there during a school session in today's America. This man, again, who is a pedophile and who is funding a modern day genocide, is sending these motherfuckers into kids' school during school hours. This is right up there with some of the worst shit that this country has done, and we've done a lot of fucked up shit.
They're gassing them at the detention centers. Listen to this. A detention center outside of Denver, Colorado is starting to use gas on the detainees in there. They're gassing them.
Maybe being gassed in a concentration camp. It's August 10th, 2026, 5:10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Just a few hours ago, I received this message from a friend who is in contact with people being held in the Geo concentration camp on the Denver city border. Almost like the map was drawn to pass just inside the borders of this federally contracted facility. I've been getting calls from people inside, my friend writes, and their families about a serious issue in Geo. Last night and the night before, a sulfuric odor started to come out of the air ducts on the north section. Geo sealed them, the people, into metal cells with no ventilation and no access to phones from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. This is less than 48 hours ago. At 10:30, a person detained inside activated the sprinklers. The fire department was notified but didn't come because Geo said it was just sewage. When I talked to my friend inside the next day, I could hear people frantic in the background. He said they can't stop coughing and they have bloody noses and can't breathe. I contacted a member of City Council and Jason Crow's office. I contacted 911 and the fire department went over. Everything had been cleared out by Geo by then. The council member sent me an update from the fire department saying everything was fine. Today I received a message from a friend. They said they were sealed in with noxious air coming out of the vents, no phones, and when they asked for help, the guards laughed at them. Today I spoke with the battalion chief of Aurora Fire Rescue. He said Geo gave them a tour, no gas noted, but if people feel sick, they need to just ask the staff for help. I told him that the staff just laughed at the people when they asked for help, that they are literally being sealed into gas chambers and someone is going to die.
Buying incinerators, and now we have proof. A Navy contract was just released showing the Navy is managing the construction of a massive network of immigration detention centers across the nation. And what's included in the contract is extremely disturbing. It describes tent cities that can hold 10,000 people each with a specific provision for biohazard incinerators under the medical and death section. That means they are specifically planning for death and choosing to burn the evidence right there on site. The reason DHS is paying the Navy $55 billion for this is so they can get this nationwide network of giant detention centers with infrastructure for handling death built as quickly as possible. And they tried to do it quietly by updating the Navy's existing contract to make this deal instead of creating a new contract specifically for this. Here are my sources if you want more information.
Check this out, folks. Today's solar eclipse from Spain. Just incredible. Look at that. Wow. Only God.
No, смотри. Ahí goes back.